Little disclaimer, y'all. Don't be thinking y'all can just go out here quitting your jobs without plans and without some type of thought in your head about what you actually want to do. Because that's the reason why you quit your job, because you actually want to focus on what you do. And if you quit your job or you have a similar story, leave it down below. I love to hear stuff like that. I tell my story to clients, to Uber drivers, to daggone whoever's gonna listen. So I love to hear about, other people quitting their jobs and following their passions, but have a plan. Okay? That's just my little disclaimer. I'm in love with the Coko. I got it for the Lord, 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 Lord. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title of this video, this is how I quit my corporate job at 26 and decided to go to cosmetology school. A whole 180 from what I was doing before. But if you want to see how I came to realizing that I was in the wrong career, keep on watching. So yeah, you guys, a little bit of background about me before we get into the whole video. I am a college graduate. I graduated from LaSalle College in 2014. Shout out to Laser Nation. I still owe y'all some money. Y'all get that soon. But I graduated with a degree in criminal justice and a minor in forensic studies. I originally wanted to be a homicide detective, but I didn't really think that through because you got to be a cop in order to be a detective. I'm so little, I would be like, all right, girl, just go on, because you bigger than me, and I don't have the time to haul you off to nowhere, okay? So yeah, I didn't really think that through. Then I wanted to work with people in homicide, people in on death row, and then they closed the Boston chapter. So that was something that I was kind of discouraged about. So I ended up working as a security guard, first responder for an elderly independent home in Massachusetts. And then I had a talk with my dad, who was like, "Hey, that's not gonna pay your bills." And I was like, fine, I'll just go ahead and apply to corporate America, which was something I said I would never do. I wanted to do something creative, something that I felt like I was impacting people's lives. But I went ahead and I applied to, I'm not going to say the company's name, I applied to a big insurance company for what was an investigative job. I was applying for a bodily injury specialist. And it was supposed to be investigating medical claims for injured parties involved in an automobile accident. So I applied. I think they called me. I applied on a Wednesday. They called me on a Friday, and we did a phone interview. From the phone interview, I was in there on Monday for an actual scheduled interview, face to face. And when I walked in, he was wearing jeans, so it was a very relaxed environment. I think that on that Friday, he called me back in for another interview, and I sat down with someone. I looked at how she did her claims, and there weren't a lot of people in the office at that time either. So after I sat down with her, I went back to the hiring man or the manager, and he basically, asked me a couple questions. I got to the parking lot, and they called me to offer a job. That's how I got into corporate America, y'all. And at $55,000, I said yes. I said hell yes. I said, oh yes, 23 years old. You got this, mamita. You got this. Okay. But yeah, y'all, that's how I got into my corporate job. Like, yeah, they gave a girl a chance because I didn't know what she was talking about. But they put that coin in front of me, and I was like, I'm your girl. Like, mama, you need a card? I didn't have it like that, but that's what I was thinking. Money talks, for real. At 23 years old and you're making over $50,000 a year, that's pretty good. Like, you pretty much, where I was in Massachusetts, you pretty much can make a living for yourself. So that was fine. The first year was a lot of traveling. For the first 3 months, I think I traveled to Arizona. I went to Maryland. Like, it was cool. Like, I never had gotten the chance to travel with another company before. It was a big corporate job. I had my own corporate credit card. It was great. I was living the life. I felt important. The second year, however, and the job was hard the second year around. because they were putting more on you. There was a bigger caseload. They weren't taking it lightly on you. You're not new anymore. So it became a job that even when I went on vacation, I was still working or thinking about work. It wasn't enjoyable, and it just wasn't fun for me anymore. So after 2 years, I actually visited Atlanta, and I was like, dang, I would really like to live out here. It's kind of getting into the way that I kind of shifted from Massachusetts to Atlanta, and I started looking into jobs, trying to make a lateral move out here so that I could probably get out here and live out here for a little bit. After 2 years, I was like, I need a change. Like something has to give. I'm not really happy. That was the first sign that I was like, I need a change. It was 2 years, and I'm like, all right, like something got to give. So I put in my papers to transfer. I got the transfer and I moved here June of 2017. Okay. And when I got here, I felt refreshed and I felt like, okay, instead of doing 5 states of investigating people, I'm only doing 3. This can't be that hard. I already know the systems. I already know how to work a claim. It can't be that hard. It got harder, guys. It got harder, and it was a lot more caseload for me to handle. And after 6 months, I really started to see a difference in my work ethic. I started to see a difference in my attitude. I started seeing a difference in my health. I wasn't sleeping much. I wasn't eating much. I would come home and just crash, and it wasn't healthy. Like, it just wasn't healthy. It wasn't something that I was like, oh yeah, I'm proud to be working for this company, because I wasn't. I had 6 managers before I left the first time from Massachusetts, and in all be all, it just wasn't a good fit in Massachusetts when I was doing this job and this career. And nothing on me. It was just a lot of people moving and a lot of hands changing and a lot of people quitting and a lot of people getting fired. There was one time I had a manager for like 30 days and I had to get a new one, so I had to adapt to somebody else, and I'm trying to be on the track to maybe becoming a level up, and I wasn't going anywhere fast. But when I came to Georgia, I loved my manager, and then they switched me to another manager. And y'all, being fake friendly is hard. Like, it's hard when you don't like somebody, and you gotta no, I did not want to work for him. I had already knew, for some odd reason, I knew they were putting me with this particular manager. Not that he was a bad manager, but he was very, very much a know-it-all, and and it was almost a fake nice. I didn't know if he really liked me or not, and not that it even really mattered. But my old boss, I could basically tell him, I don't like this, I don't like that, or he would be real with me and help me. We understood each other. This one, I had to feel like I was walking on eggshells and just do everything to the T. And, there's certain ways to do things, and there's certain ways to get where you're going without having to work as hard. It was just terrible the last 6 months. And after a long time, I started, really thinking about my life and who I am as a person. And again, the change thing started to come. I need a change. Something within me was something needs to happen. So May of 2017, y'all. Actually, sorry, May of 2018, I started having breakdowns at work. I would come into a full inbox and literally break down. I would go downstairs to another floor, and that floor was clear. Nobody was down there. It was basically a floor that they were renovating for whatever company moved in. And I literally would go down there and cry. Cry to my mom or to my dad. And I would just cry. And a lot of times I knew why I was crying. It's because I was unhappy. I didn't feel like I was going anywhere fast. And these are tall tale signs that you may need to quit your job. When you're not happy, you're not motivated, your stress level is high. They don't really appreciate you, even though when you do come in early and you do stay late. Those are telltale signs that you might need to quit your job. And for me, it was happening frequently. I was crying frequently. I wasn't wanting to get up frequently to go to this job that, I'm making somebody else rich. I'm not being the creative individual that I am. I'm not loving what I do. I'm not passionate about this. I am not happy. I'm not happy. So May came around, I applied for a Veda Institute. And they didn't have any evening classes. And I was like, well, I'm not in a position to quit my job. Like, I got a whole apartment, I got a car, I got student loans. Like, there's no way I can quit my job. Like, I can't. I just can't make this work. Also, I have a bachelor's degree. When am I going to get the money to pay $22,000 out of pocket or pay for this tuition? I don't have the time. So at the beginning, the girl was like, okay, well, just call us, when you're thinking about it, quitting your job, or when you think that you'll have time to reconsider. I'm like, that's not going to happen. Like, everyone's like, well, you can go to like Empire or something, but I had it in my head to go to Aveda. Like, I don't know if any of my friends are watching, but there was one time I was in the car with a bunch of my coworkers, but they're also my really good friends, and I was like, I want to go to Aveda. They're like, go to Palm. I'm like, no, something about Aveda. Like, I want to go to Aveda. They're all natural. I would really love to go to Aveda and do some hair stuff. And it's crazy because after I had that conversation with that lady, I started like getting real passionate about, we need to have our own businesses. We need to go to school. We need to like just forget this corporate stuff and like go out and venture out on our own. Literally every day I would talk about it. And almost like my passion came off as anger. And I probably was a little bit of both, to be honest with you. But after that time, June came around, July, I still wasn't happy. Still wasn't happy. Still didn't know what I wanted to do, but knew I wanted to do something in my passion. And hair has always been my passion. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. So June and July came around, and I started to see videos about manifesting. I started watching videos on how I quit my job. And so the manifestation videos really clicked to me, and they were talking about journaling and how to manifest your future with positive thinking and journaling. So I'm not even sure who I was watching because I literally was watching everybody. And I picked up a journal one day, and I still have the journal, y'all. And give me 1 second, I'm going to find it. All right, y'all. So here is the journal that I have. If you can see the date, it is 7:30, okay? All right, I started writing ask, believe, receive. I was just jotting down notes, my gratitude, and this says laughter. 3 goals that I wanted to accomplish was hair school at 100%, like no out of pocket, anything to me every month. I did not want to do that. I wanted to work at a specific salon, High Texture, which was a textured hair salon, so that I can learn and build relations with people who were also loving in their passion. Of course, I didn't want to work at any old place when I'm trying to get somewhere with my career and making a career change. I wanted to work in a salon culture, which I have before, but it's not the same, okay? I love where I work. Let me just point that out, okay? And I said I want to continue to listen to motivational speeches and podcasts, okay? That was 7:30. And even before then, I started meditating, and and this is all things that I actually was doing. I started believing, started getting positive about this life change. And then one day I woke up, y'all, no lie, okay? I was still journaling. Literally, there's things highlighted. I kept writing that I wanted to go to hair school at zero cost. I wrote this for days and days and days. And I kept writing this, and it was the morning that I quit my job. I woke up bawling. I was bawling, but I was grateful. I was happy. I knew what time it was. Like, I literally knew what time it was. When I walked into work and I looked at my computer, I wrote my resignation that day. I didn't know how school was going to get paid for. I didn't care about, what they were going to do with these files. I was like, I'm writing my resignation. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I am going to manifest this career. I'm going to manifest the school at, no out of pocket expenses per month. I'm going to manifest working at the salon that I want to work at, and I'm going to be great. I'm going to be great. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be motivated. I'm going to be successful. I gave my resignation that morning. And I mean, it wasn't really a surprise to them. They didn't ask, me to stay or anything. That's how these big corporations, you're disposable. They're not even asking you to stay. Like, and I wasn't on any plans to leave. I wasn't in any crazy. I never had any warnings or anything like that. Everyone pretty much, I think, liked me, but it didn't even ask you to stay. That's how disposable you kind of are. It's like I've been with this company for 3 years. They don't even ask you to stay. Whatever. So, and I didn't really care if they did or they didn't. I just knew that my career and my mind and everything that I wanted was going to happen for me, period. It wasn't about, oh my God, what if? Because everybody was telling me to wait. Everybody was telling me, don't do it. You're great. You're 26 years old and living the life. You got money. You don't have to worry about anything. You're pretty stable. None of that mattered because I wasn't happy. And when you're not happy, make changes and don't wait on nobody. Don't wait on nobody. So I stayed there for another 2 weeks, 2 days before I was about to leave. Mind you, in this 2 weeks, I had visited Aveda. I had gotten the whole pamphlet. I had put things on my vision board, which I can show you guys too, that I wanted to go to this school. And it was like hands in the air like this, like I was going to graduate. Like I was going to graduate and everything was going to be great. Like I really started to put my mind towards this thing and I was focused on this thing and it was going to happen, y'all. It was going to happen. I can't stress that enough because it happened. But 2 days before my last day at this job, I got a call from financial services. And I'm thinking, man, she's probably going to tell me, you need to probably take out a loan or something. Again, I have a bachelor's degree, so just keep that in mind. I went to school for 4 years and I had to have subsidized, unsubsidized loans. And she basically said I had just enough to cover tuition. Come on in and sign the paper. When I tell y'all, I packed up my stuff so fast. I cleared the wall of my entire cubicle. I was walking around. I was smiling. I knew that this stuff works as far as manifesting and creating and believing. As long as you believe, you can have, you can create whatever you want in your life with thought. It's just crazy because I've never wanted something so bad. And I knew change was coming. It was crazy. It was crazy how everything fell in line. And funny thing too, when I actually applied to the job at High Texture. And I DM'd her on Instagram and was like, hey, are you looking for a receptionist? Mind you, I had been to the salon one time. They weren't hiring at the time that I went. But I was like, hey, are you guys hiring? And she goes, yeah, we're hiring. Fill out an application. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go in for my interview after I just came from my corporate job. This is a couple days later. It's the day before my last day. And she's like, so yeah, I see you're from, I worked at the sister company of, you have, personal skills and I know that you're timely. She's like, when can you start? Y'all, when can you start? I'm like, I can start next week. I can start, in a week or so. She's like, okay. And, what days did you need? I'm like, I can work. We weren't open on Mondays, so Tuesdays and Wednesdays in the morning. She's like, perfect, because that's exactly what I need. Y'all. It may have been a risk to quit my job, but the reward was so much better than the risk. And to give up a job that pays you so well for something that is definitely your purpose will serve you. You can never fail on your purpose. I left that with some people that worked with me. And I heard that from someone that I was watching on YouTube. It was like, you'll never fail on purpose. Not that you'll never fail on purpose, like you meant to do it, but you'll never fail on your personal purpose. Like you never think about it. Anything that you love to do, you never get tired of it. And if anything, you just make a new way or you go another avenue. If you do fail, you get right back up. So it just made so much sense to me, and I know quitting my job was the best thing to do. I might not be making $60,000 a year, but at the same time, I'm happy. And most people can't even say that. Most people get stuck on a job because of, their family, the house, the car, the kids. What will people think about me? I don't have that title anymore. Like, do away with all that. I think this was like the best decision for me, and I think that if anybody out there, and this is what I actually posted on my Instagram as well, if anybody out there is really struggling with making that decision, do it. Because change comes when you're uncomfortable. The best things in life come when you're uncomfortable. So that is my story on how I quit my job. Any questions you guys have, you can leave them down below. Like I said, it's the best decision I made, and I encourage you guys to live and love in your purpose. So until next time, y'all, peace and love. Bye. Encourage anybody who's willing to make a change just to make it. Just do it now. Now. Right now. Share it. Ooh, this collar. This collar is funny. I feel like a nun, y'all. Look how I'm dressed. I went to work today, and I feel like a nun. But my hair is cute, though. My hair's cute. I got a little lash stuck right here, but yeah. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!